The stuff with Amaya and Brian, just the back to back Love Island drama. Then, things popping out and coming out about Amaya being colorist and making colorist remarks. It's insane. It's so much going on in the Love Island world. It's really sad. So much to get done and talking. It's sad because Amaya with the colorist comments, I don't see any backlash for her. You know what I'm saying? I'm still waiting on that. Because that's insane, the stuff that she was posting. It doesn't matter if it was 2, 3, 4, 5 decades ago, it was posted. Which now explains the aggression towards Shelly because she was probably thinking, why the heck is she getting all this treatment and I'm not with her colorist self? So it's so much coming out about these people. Love Island needs to do thorough checks on these people that they bring on this show. It ain't even funny. It really isn't from the whole Kimmy situation, which was insane. I will, it's like I'm shocked about that, but at the same time, I'm not shocked considering the country that we currently live in and considering our political climate. It's like I'm shocked, but I'm not at the same time. And once again, do hope Janae is doing well. She it's really sad because like we were really some of us were really blind not to see the foolishness of Kenny. Like we was really blind. And that's insanely scary when you can miss things like that. Like that's scary. And then you have Kamala who's releasing her book, 107 Days, which I will be getting, which I will be reading. I will be reading the audiobook. I don't feel like looking at, it's just I haven't read a book. I do audio. I prefer audio because it's easier and better and relaxing and more calming. And so I can't wait to get it. I can't wait to listen to it. I'm so happy to hear 107 Days is the name of it. And I definitely can't wait to hear it. Once again, Kamala, if she had more time, would have most definitely won. And even with the time that she was given, she garnered 75 million votes. We are not going to pass over that. Within 170 days, the third shortest campaign, the third most amount of votes in history in the shortest campaign, and she got garnered 75 million. That is still an accomplishment. That is still insanely good. And as I said before, I don't want to see no other candidate. I'm sorry. I don't want to see no. I'm sorry because men in general, when it comes to the presidency and the country, it's always been about ego, this and that. It's time, whether you like it or not, for a woman to lead this country. Because at the end of the day, what you fail to realize is you're on this planet because of a woman. Yes, a man was involved in the recreational process. We get it. That's the biological factor. But at the end of the day, it's because of women we are all here, right? And God, of course. And so, whether you like it or not, Kamala is the most qualified person to be president. And I genuinely do believe that if she decides to run, which hopefully I'm hoping that she does in 2028, with more time, this time for a campaign, she will be able to fully set out her policies. She will be able to fully continuous, and even with the shortest time, she continuously kept outlining during the debate. She made sure that she got her policies out then. She consistently was on her website. It was everywhere. People just didn't want to check. People just didn't want to find it. That was the issue. But if she gets to do another campaign, I know this time with it being longer, she will have more time. And heck, she might get 90 million votes. She might break Biden's record. Because if I'm not mistaken, he had got 81 and something and more when he got elected. Like, come on now. With more time, you don't know what she could get done and how much more she could get done and how much more she can lay out for what she wants to get done for this country. Because whether you like it or not, and it cracks me up how people say, unburden Her quote, unburdened by what has been. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it cracks me up how people try to use um, that line and try to say, "Oh, it's word salad." It's not. You just don't understand it because you're just not that intellectually smart, and that's okay. That's okay. Not everybody understands the meaning of that quote. But when she says unburdened by what has been, it means to be free from the things that have happened in the past regarding mistakes, pains, and all other type regrets, all types of stuff. It means to basically let go so that way we can move forward instead of carrying so much baggage from the past. It's not that hard to figure out. But I know a lot of people don't like to use their brains, so I guess it is for those cases. She's an intelligent woman, uses metaphors a lot, similes. I would hope that people would know what those things mean, but obviously a lot of people don't, which is very scary. He was very much qualified to be president, whether you want to admit it or not. Because last time I checked the current president, before he even became president, if I'm not mistaken, he had to do go to freaking. I think that's when he got all his felony convictions right before he became president. So we not finna do this. We not finna do and we not even finna start on the Epstein list because it's just it's a whole bunch of yada yada and not enough common sense behind all of this. The whole Epstein situation was brought up by MAGA, also known as the New Republicans. They were the ones who brought it up. They were the ones who said, release the files, release the files. He was the one who said, if you vote me in, I'll release the files. And nothing was released besides a bunch of mock-ups and just nothing. Those books that he gave them in the beginning of the year, it was nothing. It was just something to hush them up and to keep them quiet. But he don't want to release those gigabytes that he has the full authority to release. He doesn't want to release that. He doesn't really want to release those gigabytes of data. He don't of files. He doesn't want to release that, and we all know why, whether you want to admit it or not. And then you got people pulling up the point again of saying, "Oh, but why didn't Biden release them?" Biden never campaigned on it. That was never his campaign. That was never his worry during his term. His term was to push America through the stupidity of Trump of how he dealt with COVID when it was first arising. That was his job. That was your job to push us through COVID and to put us back on our feet after that pandemic and to his best, lower the cost from from the backlash of all that happened surrounding COVID economically. He had to do his best pushing the Inflation Reduction Act. Kamala Harris was the tie-breaking vote. She was actually the tie-breaking vote for a couple of things that I even felt actually, I think like 30 something, 20, it's either 20 or 30 something tie breaking votes that positively helped this country. But people don't want to discuss that. Yeah, people don't want to discuss that. People choose to discuss what they want to discuss to fit a narrative that people decide to paint, which is hilariously idiotic. Because if it's one thing I learned in this year, 6, 7 months going in, about to be eight, is that now we're entering a country that wants to go based off opinion and not fact. And that's just not how it's going to work. Be dumb on your own time. I don't know what it's going to take for people to wake up from this delusion under Trump. I don't know what it's going to take for people realize that Trump is not for y'all, that he just used y'all for votes, one, to avoid prison. Yeah, because that was the whole reason why he ran to begin with, was to avoid prison, right? Let's not forget the numerous comments this man has made when it came to women. How he told, I forgot um that man's name, daughter, that she had a nice piece of a what? What? Who said, or that he would grab a woman by their private? Who says something like that? Who 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 lets those type of words out? Oh, I know. the man who was found liable for sexual assault. Yeah. So at the end of the day, so I'm hoping that at some point people's brains begin to activate when it comes to this topic. Because it's not that hard. It really isn't. Every day the racism is racism. Spreading like COVID in 2020. Like how it was in 2020. That's how every single day I'm waking up, it's a new post about this person doing this to a black person, this person doing that. They're getting emboldened because their leader, who also represents racism himself, who no one will ever forget about how he took that full page ad and the discrimination with this hotel and all the other numerous things that he's done. No one will forget those things. He made comments saying Obama wasn't really born here. Like, we're just gonna use our brains. At least I hope to those who have them. And I'm just hoping that people open their eyes. But yeah, it's been a lot. I mean, this Kenny and Janae stuff, it really blew me away. I mean, I'm talking about like a freaking not a dandelion. I forgot those things that fly in the air. They're white. I forgot what they're called. But when I tell y'all, I was in shock. I mean, I was in like I'm like, wow, like shock as in like that was the worst thing because I knew it had to be one of the three. It could only be him sleeping next to somebody that's underage or him being accused of SA, or racism. I knew it had to be one of those, and so obviously I was hoping for the last one because that would be insane. But when it came out that he did, I'm like, wow. And then when I'm looking back at the moments of people making compilations on TikTok, I'm like, wow, like, how did I miss these sides? I saw one video saying of her saying. Of Janae saying when he flipped her and she fell, he said, "Do you?" She said, "Do you hate me?" And I'm like, "What? Why would he hate you?" And this is why it's a genuine fear, especially for minority, well, for different minority groups and for people of color to date outside their race, because you could never know. You honestly could never know who you messing with. You never know who they could really be, especially when it comes to white men. No offense. But that's just the world that we live in. People like to make it seem like racism, slavery was like 1,000 years ago. It wasn't. It was abolished like almost up to 200 years ago. Let me see. Let me not even say up to 200. I think like 160 something years when slavery abolished. How many years from today? I would say like up to 170. It has to be within that range. Oh my God. It's been 159 years since the abolition. That is insane. That is insane. And that is insanely scary. And that is why certain people of color just can't trust white people because it's things like this. And no matter how people want to try to push it back or forget about it, it will never be forgotten. Ever. Never, ever, ever, never, ever. What did that goat say in Wicked? When Ariana kept saying, when Glenda kept saying, why do we keep harping on the past? And he said, it's important because the past provides something along the lines of it providing context to where we are in the present and in the future to get to the point. And so, whether you like it or not, the past events that took place, the horrific past events that took place, which includes, as you can obviously see, with racism and many different things that went on with that, you can see how it still has effects and how it's still a very sensitive subject for minorities and people of color. And so it's sad. I can't even imagine how Janae's feeling. I know she probably, oh, I know me personally, I couldn't date another white, not even another. He not white, but he not a person that's not of my race. I wouldn't even feel comfortable doing that if something like that happened to me. I don't even. I just it's just it would be too much because it would be like, how can I trust? And that's a scary thing. And so I can't blame. I can't blame um Janae if she chooses not to date anybody else. I can't blame her because I wouldn't feel comfortable um trying to being with someone that's it just it's a vulnerable thing, a super vulnerable thing, and a very scary thing. And so yeah, that's just unfortunately the world that we live in, sadly. And like I said, I really do hope Janae is doing okay because I can't even imagine how she's feeling. I mean, whew, I wouldn't even know what to do if that was me. I mean, I would be in shock. I would feel insane. Like, and I think for me personally, I guess it shocked me because, like, it really did seem like perfect. Like, it really did. And we just was not paying attention to the signs that was being given. But yeah, like I said before, I'm wishing Janae the best. I'm hoping all is okay with her. And I'm just glad to see PPG has her back. Most definitely. So yeah, that was insane. That was insane. It just really makes you think about like when Serena was popping off at Kenny. I mean, Cordell during the recoupling scene, he was probably thinking in his head, "Look at this nigga, look at this nigga." That's probably what she was. That's probably what Kenny was thinking. You know what I'm saying? Because he a racist. So it's like it's insane now. Like it's a lot of moments that I can't even look at no more because it'll make me super mad to realize there was an undercover racist up in there. Oh, that's insane. But that's just the new America that we live in now. Where if at your every beck and call, you gonna see you gonna most likely be running into one. Unfortunately.